Make sure you like and subscribe. Minimum 55, 56 likes, nothing less.
Alright, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be going through one of the questions that we often get asked, and that's where should I grip the bar in my bench press? And then we're going to take you through the different variations and different grips that we use here at Strength Culture and sort of the different effects they will have on your bench press gains. So the three main bench press variations that we use here are a wide grip. Now, if we're looking at a barbell and we have the rings on the barbell, this would be the index finger on the ring, and the furthest legal grip of a powerlifting competition bench press. So that would be classified a wide grip. Mid grip would be about the pinky finger on the rings, and then we have close grip where we would come about to where the knurling finishes, and nice and close and narrow. So what's the difference between the three grips, and why do we use different types of grip when we bench press? So firstly, we have the wide grip. So the wide grip allows for greater loads to be lifted. This is going to help improve overall strength when it comes to the bench press. By having a wider grip, we're biasing more of the pecs and taking less of the load off the tricep. But because of the wider grip, we have a shorter range of motion, which means we can lift more absolute loads. So this is the grip that you'll see most competitive powerlifters use, the widest possible legal grip that they can have in a competition. The second grip would be the mid grip bench press, and this is probably where you see most bodybuilders lifting. This allows for load to be dispersed more evenly across the triceps, delts and pecs, and probably optimizes hypertrophy in this position. This variation of the bench press, the mid grip variation, allows for improved mechanical tension or force production of the target muscles, triceps, deltoids, and pecs. And this is probably why it's great for hypertrophy and why you would see most bodybuilders using this variation. This is actually where I competition bench press, just because you can do the widest grip possible and it works for most people, doesn't always mean that's going to be the strongest for every individual. I used to competition bench press at the widest grip, and now I've gone to a more mid-grip bench press, and you'll see guys like Brett Gibbs or Bryce Lewis who have nearly 500-pound benches that both bench with more of a mid-grip bench press. This bench press variation is great for improving hypertrophy and is probably where you're going to see the most gains in terms of muscle size. And the final bench press variation or bench press grip that we use here at Melbourne Strength Culture is the close grip. Now the close grip is going to have the greatest range of motion. So this means from starting position to touching the chest, back to starting position, it has the greatest distance to travel. In this position, we're shifting a lot of the load off the pecs and onto the triceps. So if you've ever done a close grip bench press before, you're probably going to feel that your triceps are quite pumped after, as well as your pecs. You're not completely getting rid of your pecs. They're still doing quite a lot of work. And this can also be a great variation for developing hypertrophy and improving tricep muscle size. So they're the three main variations or grips that we use here at Melbourne Strength Culture and that we program. But why would we even use these grips to begin with, and what's the benefit of changing grips? So obviously if you are a powerlifter, you're going to pick a grip that is going to allow you to lift the most loads. For me, this is mid grip. For most people, this will be a wider grip. You don't see many people powerlifting with a close grip bench press. So a powerlifter would still use close grip bench press in their program as a exercise or movement to improve muscle size, even if they're not doing it as their main competition bench press. But basically the reason that we'd want to use different grip variations in our programming is for exercise variation. If we stick with the same stimulus for too long, that stimulus becomes blunted and we don't get the same effect. If we think about sitting in a spa, for example, when you first get in a spa and it's nice, hot, 40, 42 degrees, you feel your skin tingling. It feels awesome, it feels amazing. After about 20 minutes, that stimulus, it doesn't feel the same. The water becomes quite warm, and the only way to resensitize yourself to the stimulus is to get out, maybe jump in some cold water in the cold pool, and then get back in the spa, and it feels the same again. So this is the same with training. If we use the same variation over and over again with the same rep range, we're going to blunten the stimulus and not get the same effect. So by dispersing different bench press variations throughout our program, we can help maintain sustained long-term progression and keep ourselves sensitive to the training stimulus. It's important to note with exercise variation not to change the stimulus too frequently though, because then we don't actually allow ourselves to get better at that skill and actually overload that movement over time. So we want to keep movements in our program from anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks to really get the benefit of using those movements. So how would we use these 3 bench press variations in a training program here at Melbourne Strength Culture? We're going to use a 3-day frequency across 1 training week in this example, but on day 1, we're going to do our competition bench press. For me, that would be a mid-grip bench press. And we're going to have it biased a little bit more towards strength, so 4 sets of 5 reps. On day 2, session 2, we would do a wide grip bench press. So we're biasing the pecs a little bit more. We're going to go into a more hypertrophy rep range of 8 reps. So 4 sets of 8 reps. And then on session 3, we do a close grip bench press of 3 sets of 10 reps, where we're going again, biasing towards hypertrophy and trying to develop bigger triceps. So that's how we would incorporate the 3 different variations into a program here at Melbourne Strength Culture. If you're doing your own program, give this a try. If you give it a crack, leave it in the comments below and let us know how you go, or shoot us a message and let us know how you're traveling with it. As always, if you really like this content, make sure you share it, subscribe to the channel, give the channel a thumbs up. It helps us more than you know. And as always, happy lifting.